Another stream with Hustle and Solmaniac.
Go.
Let's go, baby. We're live.
Let's go. There we go.
Some guests here in a second. Adam is now on his 8th show of the day, coming fresh off of Mario show.
Space. Yeah, I was on the Mario Space. They were actually it was funny today. It was a company that's doing like sports betting, football sports betting, and they're doing it with like those squares you get at like the office parties where it's like you pick a square and that square is like the score at the end of each quarter. They're doing that.
Oh yeah,
on blockchain.
Oh nice.
So it's pretty fun, and they're actually going to be in Vegas, so we might meet up with them in Vegas. They're throwing a big party, lots of funding, and it's good to see. But yeah, what have you been up to today?
Me
or Jay?
Yeah, you bro. Have you been trading today?
You're a guest, our special guest.
I did. I was up, so I'm up every day around 5:30 a.m. Do my pre-market analysis, market open. Now I try to trade like no longer until like noon at PST, and but really I try to get my trade in by 11 a.m. Or 11 a.m. EST, so that'd be like 9 a.m. But yeah, I traded this morning. Did a bunch of like learning and back testing earlier. I hosted a spaces too this morning with my Kaizen, the one that you guys did the space with.
Yeah,
we hosted a space this morning with a bunch of people like Magic Eden, SNS, Famous Fox, Galactic Ectos. There was like 9 different guests. That was pretty fun. And then I just got to hang out with my daughter.
When you're trading, are you fully in, fully out every day? Or you
I just intraday trade. So yeah, trades sometimes depending on how well the move is. Like just last week, I had a trade that lasted like 5 days and it just kept running. I just kept moving my stops with it. But typically trades are done no longer than 4 hours. Like 4 hours is kind of a long trade. Typically they're faster than that, like less than an hour. Yeah.
Dude, your trading's like you're such a zoomer. Just straight up short attention span. When I started trading, I got into Forex literally almost 10 years ago. So 9 years ago.
Nice.
And I read, I kid you not, probably 10 to 15 different books on trading styles. And I just always identified with swing trading.
Swing trading.
There's so much stuff. There's so much bullshit that comes with scalping. And a lot of it is kind of fairy tales and dreams when it comes to TA. I mean, I think price action is generally kind of like the best, or at least the system that I found to be most suitable when you're trading short-term price action or kind of moving averages. I think help a lot. Maybe when you're doing do you do leverage trading at all, or are you trading spot?
I do leverage. Yeah.
Just leverage?
Blowfin. Huh?
On Blowfin, just leverage?
Yeah, just leverage trading, and then yeah, just leverage. That's all I do. I don't do anything super degenerate. The highest I go is 20x. I never go above that. That's pretty high.
Sorry, that is pretty degenerate.
Yeah.
I'm always safe in 20x.
But for me, I always like I know some people will trade leverage but don't use stop losses. I always have a stop loss, and I have like set risks. So I have a dynamic risk. Some people will say you just risk 1%, or some people say you only risk 0.5%. I have a dynamic risk depending on if the trade's like pro trend or against the trend. But I never like trade without a stop loss, or like I know what I'm risking per trade, if that makes sense. Like I'm not full porting, with leverage.
To trade. Yeah. So you were actually a perfect candidate then to dive in with Hustle, because obviously you're familiar. We went on your stream. What was that? Maybe a month ago.
Yeah.
So?
Yeah. That was about a month ago, right?
Maybe it was about a month. Seems like yesterday. Seems like 10 months ago. Honestly, I really can't tell. And what AI is doing is honestly helping you so you don't have to go through all this stuff, or at least giving you the proper setups. So with like your education that you're learning, are you taking like a course? Are you reading books, or do you have like a mentor?
It's a course. So there's a course, a 12-week course with mentorships, like with mentors. Like there's a couple different mentors in it. We do live trading together. You will send in every single trade you take, and they'll like review them, tell you how you could have done better, tell you how you could have like, you know, or maybe if you're like being a degenerate, right? You're taking like 30 trades a day. It's like, yo, dude, like chill out. You don't need to take that many trades. So they just help give you feedback. And then there's also like accountability and habits that they're trying to have you form and stuff like that. So, yeah.
And it is a scalper. Cool. So what I'm going to do then is when I bring up Agent Hustle, I started pre-typing it while you were talking.
Yeah.
I'm basically going to have him help you trade. And I'm going to see,
sweet.
I'm going to see kind of what this man can do here. Adam, when you were, you know, a trader for a while, did you ever, you know, look at charts, or what was your trading style?
I always, I've always, my entire time Wall Street to today, I actually think charts are fool's gold. I mean, they work until they work, until they don't. They work until they don't. And so, yeah, I've never been a believer in charting. You know, yeah. And I know plenty of people. I mean, Jake, I know you, but I know literally dozens of other people who tried Forex back in the day. Before this was kind of pre-crypto. Every single one, 100% got wrecked. 100%. Nobody was able to make it as a living. Zero. And that's including people who like hit it big in business and then we're like, oh, now let me trade. And like I have friends who got mega wrecked.
Oh man,
doing that stuff. And so I would never recommend it to you. You are taking on risky business. So, you know, my recommendation to like people, like, you know, usually it's young kids. Usually it's, you know, 18 to 25-year-olds who are like, I'm going to trade. I'm like, bro, get a job, make money that way and invest, right? That's usually a smarter strategy because it's extremely difficult. Like the success, you know, to be successful, like trader, like day trader, I'm talking about stocks here generally, like day trader, Forex style stuff is like, bro, it's 0.01% of people are successful. It's super difficult. It's
hard. Yeah.
To do, while like meme coin trading and this sort of stuff where you can actually have an edge because you join communities, you get inside information, you know, you play this kind of crypto game. The odds are way more in your favor. Like the odds you winning every trade are less, but when you win, you know, 100x bigger.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, you know, I do encourage people to get into crypto and do crypto trading because it's a more fair game than certainly like Forex and stuff, which is just like brutal. So yeah, that's my kind of ramble on like day trading and stuff. But yeah.
Did you ever get into options trading?
Yeah, my brother totally. My brother was a professional options trader for 2 decades.
Okay.
He basically, him and his you know, partner basically got driven out of the business. Like the margins became so slim that it was basically not the cost of like running it and the like the regulatory oversight. They were market makers, became so expensive that it became impossible to like make money at it. But they still have a data and analytics company for options traders.
Yeah.
Called Market Chameleon, where, you know, you can like pay whatever $100 a month to get like their data and analytics. But like, let me just say, I mean, like they were professionals with, you know, 5-6 decades of experience between them, and they could barely make a living at it. Like, you know, I'm just saying, like, that's how hard it is. You know, it's
good. It's good to know because I'm new. I'm very green in it all and like learning, and so I like hearing the honest you know, the honest opinion on it.
Yeah, my honest opinion is like have your life, career, whatever, and trade on the side as like hobby, a way to entertain yourself and a way to invest, but don't try to make it like that's the way you're going to make a living, because it is like, man, you got to be elite to make it elite to make a living at it. Yeah, that's my general advice.
Yeah, when I started, I was working at the nightclub actually. So, and I blew, because you said you were leverage trading, or you said that before we started the show, that I blew probably 10 accounts before I made any type of money. Just so bad. It's so bad trading. I remember trading the first Trump presidency I was going long the dollar. And it was actually like if Hillary won, the dollar was supposed to improve. And once Trump took the lead, man, that shit just dropped so fast. It lost like 10 grand.
Oh my.
Oh man, it just blew my, because I also was the degen. I liked using leverage as well.
Okay.
But on Forex, like you rarely ever got 100x like leverage. I think I think the most on any of my brokers was like 20x. You said you're using 20x just casually.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's the most they'll use. That's the most you use, right, bro?
Yeah. I range anywhere from 5. It depends on my account size. Like, so when I have like a small account size at less than $1,000, I go that 20x to make it kind of worth it. But if I have my account size much larger, I typically stick to like 5x or less. Yeah.
Cool. So I asked Hustle a few things while we were talking, so we can kind of jumpstart it. So I went up and I asked him, I said, we're back on the live stream with Solmaniac. He's learning technical analysis and how to trade. He's learning how to trade TA charts. And as a scalper, can you help him become a better trader? Give us suggestions on how to improve his trading strategy using Agent Hustle. So he says, welcome, gives us a little bit of a spiel. He says real-time market intelligence, which is him. I can track trending tokens across multiple chains, giving Solmaniac immediate insights on what's moving in the market. This is crucial for scalping, where typing is everything. Here's how it can help. And he goes on to say chart and pattern recognition analysis, risk management automation, real-time market sentiment analysis, and custom DCA strategies. So for the sake of the live stream, because we're only going to be here for, like an hour or so, I said, let's choose number 1 and 3. So chart pattern recognition analysis, real-time market sentiment analysis. And he goes on to give like a giant spiel and actually recommend some tokens we can even dive into.
Oh yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's dive into it. So he says, perfect. Let's set up a practical scalping framework using real-time market intelligence and risk management. This Solmaniac can apply. Real-time intelligence for quick trades. So let's start by identifying the hottest tokens with momentum right now. So one of the tokens is called Startup. And he says that it's a 60-minute scalping strategy. So he gave Startup. And he says, so the market cap's 30 mil. So key indicators, volume decreasing in the last hour, which is minus 10%, signs of potential consolidation after a massive pump, and unique wallets in the last hour, which has decreased by 30% from the previous hour. The other one is Polycule, 6 million. So has strong upward momentum in the last hour, a plus 80%, buy volume increasing significantly, and unique wallets in the last hour, 1,500, which is stable. So he goes in to give an actual real-time scalping framework. So this looks a little bit new from last time. He says, with these coins, you'd want to go in with 0.25 SOL per trade, put your stop loss at 15%, take profit at 25% above the entry. So you have a 1.5 to 1 risk reward ratio. A max position is 3 simultaneous trades. And then he goes on to says technical entry signals show on chart during the live stream. So he's even telling me and Adam how to how to show this to you for entertainment purposes. So he says for Polycule, which I'll pull up here on the stream. So this is the Polycule chart. It's 15 minutes, right? So you got your first upswing. Looks like a double top, comes in, corrects. Looks like it's kind of on that support line right here and coming up. And so he says, for Polycule, we should buy when the price holds above a 5-minute EMA for three consecutive candles. I don't even know.
What's the EMA mean? What's that mean?
So that's
exponential moving average.
Okay. There we go. Solmaniac has been learning. Do you use the EMAs at all?
I use a 200 EMA, but that wouldn't work on this because it's so young. The 200 EMA is like 200 candles.
Yep.
You'd have to go down to like the 1 second time frame or something like that.
Yeah. So you've been learning. So he says you take the exit when it closes below the 5-minute EMA with decreasing volume. The hard stop loss at 15%. Let's check Polycule's current price action. So live execution plan, set up a trading view with a 1 minute and 5 minute charts. So let's go to the 5 minute chart. So that see if we can apply it. I don't think we've ever done this on stream for some live setups.
Nice.
I
did see on the 15 minute it was inversing liquidity.
So what is the inverse liquidity?
If you go back to Bird Eye, so see how there's see that big red candle?
This one?
See how it's got that fair value gap?
Mm-hmm. Oh, you're talking about right here.
Yeah, it inversed it took 4 candles to inverse it, but it did inverse that fair value gap after tapping into kind of like I think it's an order block or breaker block to the left. It kind of looks like if you were to buy that bottom there, and even potentially that it could attack that double top.
There you go, Tam. You are deep into the TA breaker blocks. I haven't actually heard that. I heard that trading strategy in quite a while. So I do want to go to the 5 minute. So we'll compare hustle strategy to yours then, and we'll see how it matches up. So he says you are gonna want to. Let's see. So place a lot.
I would ask it what EMA it wants, because the EMA is like kind of dependent on. Because he said a 5 minute EMA, which isn't a thing. I would maybe ask him like what EMA he would want you to do.
Which EMA should we
like? You could do a 9 EMA, which is like taking the last 9 candles. I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So there's 3 different types of EMA. So there's the exponential moving average. You have was it simple moving average? I think is one.
Yeah, the SMAs. Yeah.
So
there you go. Okay.
There you go.
5, 13, 20. Okay, got it.
So this is on the 1 minute chart, he says.
Okay, that makes sense. And you can also wait for them to cross too.
Let's see. I don't know if you can you do EMAs on Bird Eye?
You should be able to.
I think so. Let me see where these 3 things are. I haven't used these in a while.
The indicators right there on the top in the middle of the screen, kind of.
Yeah, there we go.
Right there, yeah.
I gotta log in, motherfucker. I don't even know if I have an account with them. But we'll see what else he has to say. So for the effective 60-minute scalp on Polycule, look for golden cross entry. So when the 5 EMA crosses above the 13 EMA on the 1 minute chart, trend confirmation. So price must be above the 21 EMA.
This is interesting. Like, are you trading the same tokens every day? Are you trading like majors every day, or are you doing like random coins like this?
I trade the same. I trade Bitcoin every day.
Okay.
Bitcoin and NQ.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah. I used to trade like Jupe and Solana and
Yeah, I was gonna say like this is actually like if you were gonna maybe look into trading a new coin, a new token, this would be like an interesting way to analyze. This help. I mean, this is what we were talking. I don't know when we did a live stream the other day. It was like the guy was using it basically for technical analysis, right? To do this kind of like give him the first breakdowns of a token. And help him craft a strategy.
I feel like too with meme coins and stuff like this, because they're so early, you're not necessarily probably looking for like the right technical analysis of like what I was saying, inverse fair value gaps or whatever. You're more looking for that momentum indicator, right? Of like, is there momentum or is it lacking that momentum? Or like what are the volume at? Where is like the buyers and sellers? So I think that could be helpful. Yeah, I like what it's saying.
So I'm gonna tell him. I'm gonna say Solmaniac thinks we should be looking at momentum-based statistics because this is a new token. What do you think about that? So we'll see what he has to say. I honestly have been a naked trader for like the last probably 8 years or so.
Yeah.
I tried to. Good.
EMAs do kind of act like a momentum indicator, right? Because like when you see them cross or when you see them in the up or down direction, right? They're kind of showcasing that momentum of that coin. I don't use them much anymore. I used to use them a lot, but they are helpful with like identifying a momentum of something.
Yeah.
I RSI.
I totally agree. Yeah, the RSI is super. That's like super basic. That's like what you start with, like when you're first trader. Like the RSA is like the first indicator that anyone ever suggests to you.
Yeah.
And the MACD is one of them. So he says, Solmaniac's absolutely right. For new tokens like PQ, momentum indicators are far more valuable than traditional EMAs because they better capture the explosive price action and rapid sentiment shifts. So let's build a better momentum-based strategy for the 60-minute scalping. So it says with the RSI, you want a 7-period RSI faster than the standard 14. You look for RSI divergences from price, and you buy when the RSI crosses above 40 after being oversold. The application RSI shows when PQ's momentum is shifting before price confirms it. So then I guess he wants you to look at the volume profile, the MACD with fast settings, and the money flow index. I don't think I've ever used the MFI before.
I don't think I have either.
Yeah,
I don't think I've.
So MFI says 5-period MFI. You look for divergences between MFI and price, and shows if money is flowing in or out of PQ despite price action. So real-time scalping framework. Wow, this is like super in depth. So for PQ specifically, I'd recommend this momentum-based strategy. RSA crossing over 40 after dipping below 30, confirmed by increasing volume. And then you have the MACD histogram expanding in positive territory that gives momentum confirmation. And the exit signal is when the first sign of RSI divergence, price making a higher high, but the RSI is making a lower high. And then the stop loss below the most recent volume node, support level based on trading activity. Why this works better for new tokens is that for established tokens, EMAs work well because price tends to respect historical levels. But for new tokens like PQ, no established trading history means EMAs have less relevance. Price discovery is happening in real time. Momentum and volume tell you where the smart money is moving, and sentiment shifts happen much faster and more dramatically. So he says that we should be on the 1-minute chart and that we should be using the RSI and MACD and look for volume spikes and wait for the RSI to cross over. Unfortunately, unfortunately, I don't think I actually have a Bird Eye account signed in at this time. We'll see though. I'm gonna ask him what we should do if I can't sign in to indicators. What is your thoughts on you having an AI give recommendations? Have you ever used something like this for trading or even considered it?
I have considered it when we did that first interview and like conversation, the couple ones, the spaces, and also when we did it on my live stream. I have considered it, and I think what I would have to do is like spend time like just practicing, like doing almost like demo trading with it, and like seeing like what is it recommending and is it working out. And I've never thought of trying like to putting like a momentum indicator like the RSI on a meme coin. I don't know if that would. I don't know. It would be interesting to see how it worked.
Bro, if it works on the big boys, it's got to work on the small guys, man.
Right? Yeah. Right. It's just because all it's doing, right, is relative strength index. It's just showing you where the strength is at, and so it could very much work when you see those impulse moves or those where prices like or buyers are coming in and sellers are coming in, or which vice versa, right? So
yeah. So I don't have access to the to Bird Eye because I have my account's not signed in, but Hustle can read images. So I'm gonna see if I can upload the image and tell him to read it. So here's the chart. Let's see. I've never done this before actually. You apply the TA and tell us where we should, or what I'll say, tell us what zone we should buy in.
One question is, when you're thinking about what to trade, I mean, I understand trading, a massive token like Bitcoin. But if kind of everybody's trading Bitcoin, wouldn't you think like that an edge could be had trading something that's maybe not so highly traded by kind of technical or experienced traders? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
honestly, I'm just being like transparent. Like, I've tried to convince for years to get my brother and his partner to trade crypto, because I actually think, look, they have decades and decades of experience trading, right? So they can, I'm like, bro, just use all your information and attack crypto.
Yeah.
And in the same way, like, do you think as you get more and more experience, well, maybe I just do trade, I don't know, Pepe, right? Because who in Pepe is actually like an experienced trader? It's all just monkeys like Adam out there, just trading, right? Where I can actually use like smarts and intelligence, and have you thought about that, or is that something you would consider?
Yeah, like, so some of my best trades have actually been from coins like Jupiter, like Jupe. And the reason why they were the best trades is, one, I was tying in my technical analysis. I was doing on those types of coins, like the lower, I consider that like a lower cap, right? So like either right around sub 5 billion, right? Sub $5 billion market cap coin to me is a low market cap. And for me, I tend to do like what Jake was saying, swing trading, like on the 1 hour is my entries, but I'm basing it off a 4 hour or day time frame, right? And so for me, some of my best trades have been from coins like Jupiter or lower cap coins, because I also not only tie in my technical analysis, but I tie in the community sentiment, right? Like when Jupiter, when I was doing that trade, Jupiter was launching their Jupe airdrop, and everybody was hyped on Jupiter coin, right? And everyone was getting stoked. The airdrop was coming, and I caught like a massive pump, because I knew if I watch X and see the sentiment and also tie in my technical analysis and what's going on across not only the charts, but also in the ecosystem as a whole, like it's almost like it's very easy to catch really good trades that way. Like same thing for Bonk, or like I saw Agent Hustle Popcat or things like that, right? There's a strong community on X. You can watch what the community's saying and doing, and then also watch technical analysis, and you tie those together, you can catch something really good. And so I do as I'm trying to get better and much stronger on my understanding of reading like the charts and stuff, I want to tie in those lower cap coins. Like I've done some really good trades too on Pepe. Like some of my best trades too were actually on Pepe that you said.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Damn. Yeah. So going back to the chart. So he says that there's strong support at 50 or I guess a fifth of a penny, recent consolidation area, immediate resistance. He has at like about 30 or 40% higher. So optimal buy zones, a primary buy zone is here. I'm actually going to have him place a DCA here to see if it actually works. So right now it looks like it's at 54. So this is a scalp.
Could you put a line on the chart of that price that he said?
Yeah, I will.
Or like a box or something. I want to see where he recommends.
Yeah, so we're going to have to zoom in now. So he's recommending like right here-ish, like this range, I think, down like in here. Oh shit, my bad. I didn't show. So he's recommending, so is it 53? So
yeah, 53 and like 59, I think. 0.0053 and 0059.
Yeah, so 53 and 556. So so that actually is the pump that just happened right now.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny.
Yeah, right. That was 5.3 and then it went up. So I think for the sake of the conversation, right, this is the pump that's happening right now, is what we were supposed to be buying, is what I'm assuming. But
I think he put it on like that. Is it like the width of that red candle there, that little red candle to the left?
This one?
Oh, a couple more over.
This one?
One more over?
Down here?
No, the one right there. Yeah, that one. What's that price at?
Yeah, it's at 5-4.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so look at it. So he did actually catch the pump here.
Yeah,
So it
and
would have
he
been a
said to
good scalp.
target the swing high, right?
Yeah, I think so. So he said so 5-3 and 5-6. And then the profit or the target area is 6-8, he says. So yeah, I think so. 6-8 is much higher actually.
It's probably
6-8.
those highs still left.
Yeah, 6-8's like right here.
Okay, yeah.
So and then he says the secondary buy zone is there. So risk management, so 0.25 into it. So let's see if he does. So 0.25 or buy 0.25 Sol right now ASAP. So let's see if he does it. Because it is in the range that we asked. So I just asked him to execute it quickly. Just having him do it for just the sake of tutorials to just kind of show that you can do it through here. It is actually much faster if you just go to the swap tool. And this is zoomed in on my screen, so it actually looks like that. So if it looks scrunched, it's just because I'm zooming in for the sake of the conversation.
Yeah,
but it's much faster here on the platform if you just did this and you would type in the contract. I'm sure PQ is probably not even showing up here. I don't know what. I'll have to find what the address is, but it would be much faster if you just came in here and hit like that and then you just bought. That'll always be much faster, but for just the sake of like the tutorial, I'm just gonna have him kind of buy it while we watch the chart and kind of go through this experience. It is kind of cool. I've never done like an actual like TA scalp with him to see if he's actually right or not. So pretty cool. So while we do wait on that, I would love to hear a little bit more on your trading strategy, or like what's your kind of goals. Do you have a trading journal and do you write the trades down?
I do. I use TradeZella. Have you heard of that?
Mm-mm.
It's a trade journal where you input your trades. It'll keep track of every single trade you've ever taken. You can set up like rules for yourself. So when you get in the morning, like you have to do, top-down analysis. You have to check for red folder news or like things like that. And it just is accountability thing. And then I always, before I start trading, that's why I kind of get up at 5:30 so I can get to chart before the market opens. And I can kind of basically, I journal what I think the market will do. And then I like to go back after my trading session's over and be like, was I right? And did I trust myself? And so like right now I've been kind of going through that learning lesson of like, can I trust myself before I analyze the market, and it's been fun because I'm like finding I can trust myself a lot more each and every day. I'm getting there. I just need now the trades to play out the way I want them to, because I'm trying to like do a prop firm and like get into prop firm space. But then I also do my own trading accounts where like I said, on Blowfin and like doing leverage and things like that. So, but yeah, my goals are just really to, like you guys said, not making it my everything. Like it's not going to be my main thing, but I really would love for it to be like a side hustle of like just doing day trading, another source of income, and being able to be a consistently profitable trader through that. And that's really the ultimate goal for me, is just being able to be someone who's consistently profitable over the days and months as I'm learning
for a long period of time. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think actually just speaking with like Trevor the other day, he wasn't trading so much, but he was doing a lot of research and writing for like a family office. I think documenting that journey, that you have is actually really valuable to you as like a personal brand, and valuable to other people. Right. And I think, you're doing that, which you're already doing kind of with your live streams and stuff like that, but kind of, letting people go along the ride with you, and as you become really an expert in it, and sharing your learnings and stuff, I think is super valuable for you. Not only, you know, to make you a better trader and stuff, but just for your own personal, you know, brand and stuff.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. And what I found too is like doing the content and the content forces me to have to explain what I'm doing.
Totally.
And it's like it reinforces like kind of the learning, right? Because now I have to show people what I'm actually looking at, what I'm understanding, and then that like practice over and over and over again is actually I found helpful. Now it is stressful when you're trading and there's like 100 something people watching you, and they're able to chat and like talk to you, you know, while you're trading. Or like, dude, that was a stupid idea. You're like, thanks, I feel so good now.
I think I actually think you probably, and you correct me if I'm wrong, but I bet if you like document your trades, like this was a big winner and then this was a terrible loser, I bet that terrible loser content does better than the winner content. Like, people want to know, oh, this was a huge fucking $10,000 mistake. You know, here's not to do what I did, you know?
Yeah.
People love that kind of shit.
Also the people watching can impact the chart that you're trading as well.
Oh, totally, man.
Yeah. Very true. Like, I've seen so many live streamers who will like go on Pumped Up Fun, right? And they're like, oh, buy this one. And then like, you know, they got 1,000 some people on there. They pump it like, you know, 100x, and then that guy sells, and it's like, oh.
Yeah.
I've never done that because I like
Bitcoin and stuff. That's no big deal.
Yeah, I'm trading Bitcoin when I'm doing it. So like there's no way my chat's gonna pump Bitcoin for me. Like if they can do that, I've got a crazy chat.
You got a bunch of whales. So going back to Agent Hustle. So we did execute a trade. So he bought in at I believe it was like 50 or 0.0054 or something of that nature. But so he says the entry zone was at the current market price. The stop loss is 15% below the entry at 0.0049. Then taking profit is at 0.0074, which is 25% above the entry. So the cool thing that we built with this platform is, so PQL shows up here.
Okay.
There's an instant sell button. So you can actually just hit this instant sell and sell it as soon as possible because it's much faster. And we also have charts here, so we can monitor where it's at. We did have the tooling removed on these charts just for display purposes. Maybe bring them back one day. But so basically, if it comes down right here at 0.49, we'll sell. And then he says the take profit is near the all-time high. It's at the second all-time high right here. Is where he wants us to take profit.
Can you add indicators on this chart?
So we removed the indicators on our interface.
Oh, got it. Okay.
It was just like jumbling the screen too much.
Oh,
And on the left-hand side, people would like click on it and it would kind of like mess it up. They come back, but when we first added it, we had to remove it just because it was like conflicting with we're
doing this degen view.
Degen view.
Degen view. Honestly, I'm not a huge fan of like indicators. Personally, I don't have, the only indicator I have is 200 EMA, and I really don't use it that much. I kind of use it as like momentum, right? But I usually just look at what the candles are doing. Like I try to keep it stupid simple. That's like one of the things I always say.
So I'm asking him how long we should sell for, because if you remember initially I said this was going to be a 60-minute stream. So I'm actually curious if he remembers. Yep, for the 60-minute scalping strategy. So he does remember.
Nice.
So he says for primary exit windows in the first 15 to 30 minutes. So he says this is an ideal time frame for momentum-based scalping. Recent price action shows that should be within a 15-minute time window. Said the maximum hold is 45 minutes from entry, and that there's a trailing stop loss. We don't have the trailing stop loss set here yet, we don't have it integrated in the platform.
Does he auto take profit for you?
So I'm glad you actually asked that. Not yet, but it is something we're actually building.
Okay, I remember you guys saying that because I think it was in our live stream. We were chatting about that. I wasn't sure if it was here yet or not.
Not yet. So we've taken a few kind of crazy turns and products. We actually released internally or with like a handful of devs, Agent Hustle MCP. So you can actually, which is kind of like if you're familiar with what MCPs are.
Oh wait, sorry. I was thinking of NPC. I don't know why I thought of that. I don't know.
No, you're good. So MCP,
NCP?
MCP is just like an AI form of an API. So it just allows anyone to integrate Agent Hustle into their Discord, their Telegram, your emails, your website. You're literally just locally on your desktop. You can now do that. So we have a bunch of teams who are now using it to build trading signal indicators and market making bots. And we have like DeFi teams who've reached out to us who want to integrate it to do a little bit more sophisticated things. So it took us a few weeks to kind of build that out. But our next focus is the conditional trading system, which
nice.
I haven't seen any other DeFi AI project implement this yet, but there have been some teams who've said they want to, but obviously it's a little bit tougher in practice. That's like our next big mission after we're building sign in with Twitter, sign in with Google, and sign in with Apple into Agent Hustle to just make it so that anybody could come in and use the platform to make it just a super simple onboarding experience. And then with the conditional selling, or you could call it automated selling, we would have been able to, in theory, inside of the single prompt. So up here when I said buy 0.025 Sol, I could have also said purchase this with 0.025 Sol and also set a and sell it at a 25% gain, or I could have say buy 0.025 Sol and sell it at your recommended price. And so then he probably would put in I think it's called the sell limit, right? So he would put in a sell limit at 0.0074. And then he probably also would have placed a stop loss on it as well. So then you don't actually have to do anything. And I think it's cool because then it takes away the emotions out of the game, which I'm sure as you're learning is the majority of trading, especially scalping. You're literally just trading against yourself the majority of the time.
It really is. Like that's the thing, because I'm like, that's one of the things I'm wrestling with right now, is because like I'm reading it right and I'm seeing it all right, but in my head I'll doubt myself, or like I'll get like frustrated or anxious or whatever, and then that causes me to hesitate or second guess. But then it was all gonna work out because I read it, and the facts are the facts, but I let my psychology or whatever get in the way, and you literally it's a game against yourself.
Yeah, it really is.
He needs hustle. He needs the old school hustle where you could just chat with him, just talk to him. And then you'd be like, you could just have a live conversation with Hustle, because then Hustle would be like, sell now. Don't sell.
Yeah. He's like, stop being an idiot.
Stop being an idiot. Don't be dumb.
Yeah.
Tell me about your experience with Kaizen. That's how we met, was through the other AI project. And what is your position with them? And then I know you also talk with other AI teams. What are your thoughts about just the AI sector in crypto?
Yeah. So my role with Kaizen, I'm like the ex-intern, right? So I like kind of help them post. And really my main role is to host all their spaces. Like, so helping get guests on, hosting the spaces, and then also like having the interview questions and all that stuff ready to go. That's my biggest role. And then posting for them. So I post, any of that posts that you guys kind of have seen, that I'm the guy behind the profile. The way I met them was actually in Singapore at Solana Breakpoint last week. I met Omi there, and we connected. Nothing came out of it, but then later on, like a couple months later, he reached out to me and was like, "Dude, I want you on as our ex-intern." I was like, "Sure, like this sounds fun." Like I was kind of like really liking what he was building and stuff. So, and I wanted to help support. So, through the X spaces, right? I've been able to interview all sorts of companies, like AI to like today we did a bunch of all sorts of different. Today was kind of Solana community. We did NFT projects to marketplaces to DPIN and all sorts of different companies and ecosystems across Solana. But for me, my personal opinion on artificial intelligence, I think it's going to be one of those next things that really captures and integrates like a large portion of the people, like what you guys are doing. You're making it seamless to onboard onto crypto. And then you have this artificial intelligence that's able to be your assistant as you onboard. Like that makes it so much easier. You're not having to learn it as you go. You can, learn with artificial intelligence and not have to make the mistakes like we did being the first guys out, within crypto and having, maybe I was blessed. I never had my wallet drained, but I know a lot of people who did, or like, buying the wrong coin because, you saw someone shill it on X, where this can kind of filter out the crap for you and you can get actually the value. I think AI, I mean, even outside of just trading, I think AI is a massive sector that's coming. Just in general, like people are very, very excited on artificial intelligence. I think when you tie in artificial intelligence to a blockchain, I think that presents a massive investment opportunity and just tech, opening the door for tech that's coming out. So like, I love what you guys are doing. I'm really stoked to see it. I think it's going to be one of the top metas coming. It's a hot topic, right? But I think AI, it's like a slower growth because you're building like a massive thing that's gonna once it's there, it'll be rapid growth, but it takes time, right? Exactly. And I think in crypto, people really want things fast, and value, like real value, takes time. And I'm really stoked because I think a lot of the people that have been building these AI have been taking the time, the years to build these up now, and it's getting to that point where we're very close to where it's like it's gonna get good, like real good. And so yeah, that's kind of like my take on AI. I'm not super technical with it. I'm not like a real technical. I'm like the guy who would use it, but I can't build it.
Yeah, it's tough. We're really fortunate that we have base devs who understand this stuff.
Yeah.
Really well. So an update on our position. So I asked him to give us an update. He said PQ, the current price is 5.1. He says to his recommendation, hold for another 10 to 15 minutes to see if support holds and momentum returns. If it breaks below 4.8, exit and protect the capital. Take profits if it recovers to 5.5 rather than waiting to our original 25%. So basically saying protect your capital. So let's see where
for the hour, right? Like the hour strategy that it's trying to do.
Yeah, for the hour strategy. So it's pretty much at 4.8. So I guess if it breaks, right? So he said 4.8. So basically if it breaks below
like right there, break that low.
Yeah, if it breaks that low, then basically he says to cut the position and get the hell out of here. Oh man. So let's see, but it is bouncing. Oh, so that would be
it's gone.
Yeah, right. and let's see how this candle closes or not. If it closes like that, then I think that's like the sign to generally the sign is generally to, hey, let's get the hell out of here. So let's see what the actual loss is. So it is like 15% or so. Oh, looks like it did close. So I'm gonna go ahead and sell just for the sake of this sake of this trade, because it is the 60-minute one, and we are coming up on the 60 minutes. So you could protect your capital. Of course, it'll probably like bounce and continue to go. Is generally the case, but we ended up losing, I think, about like $10 or something like that, right?
Yeah, I was like,
just the fully engulfing candle.
He's gonna do a god candle now,
right?
Of course,
all the way to the top.
Of course, bro.
It happens every single time, dude. Right? That's like
literally it is. Oh my gosh. Oh,
that's literally the psychology of a trader, right?
it
It's
is,
that
right?
you just like absolutely lose your mind when that happens. That's what makes it tough, right? Especially trading the 1 minute chart. I've seen some people
Yeah.
try to trade the 1 second chart
Oh.
on some of the meme coins. It's like that's like
Oh my gosh.
absolute degeneracy.
The
But
lowest I go is the 5 minute. That's the lowest I go.
yeah,
Yeah, that's the lowest I'll go.
do you
I tried
trade
the 1 minute. It's hard.
do you trade anywhere else outside of Solana, or do you stick mainly to Solana?
I do trade NQ, so Nasdaq. I trade that. But a lot of my trading's in Solana. Yeah, I'd say the majority of it, and then Bitcoin. When it comes to like my intraday trading, like trying to be that like 5 minute scalping and stuff like that. But swing trading, I like to do Solana and like other altcoins into. Yeah.
So somebody who was watching the stream posted this, and I think Adam just reposted it.
I just posted it. This is great, dude. Check this out.
That's awesome.
I thought that was awesome, bro.
Oh, yeah, I see that.
Damn,
It got my ears right, man. It got the ears dead on, bro.
That's so funny. Look at my ears. Oh my gosh.
The monkey traders, dude. You can't stop us.
That.
You cannot stop us, man. It's yeah, it's a lot of fun. So I'm curious then, why Solana, and why not anything? Why not ETH?
Good, yeah.
Why not BTC? Why not any of these other kind of alt chains?
So Solana was my. Oh man, this is going back to like when I first started. So I tried Ethereum. One of the things that when I first started crypto was the big wave of like NFTs. So I was, before I got into NFTs, I was buying, all different kinds of coins. I was finding on like social media, or like I was going on Coinbase and like trying to do research, and like I knew nothing. I was just buying like whatever seemed decent, and I was buying Ethereum, Bitcoin. I bought SafeMoon when it like 4 days into SafeMoon, I bought that. I made a lot of money, but I was so green into crypto. I couldn't even sell it. I didn't know how to sell it. I was like, I don't know. I made money. I don't know how to get rid of it though. And I also bought did the typical Coinbase buying of like scattered stuff. And then I started really diving into it, like watching YouTube videos, diving into like write-ups on like how to get into crypto. That's when I started getting into like Ethereum and Solana, and finding out that they're like the two really like kingpins when it comes to main crypto communities and what they're building and growing. And Ethereum at the time, this is back in like 2020, 2021, Ethereum was the top dog. Like Solana wasn't even really a competitor. And so I tried Ethereum. I hated Ethereum because I had a really, really small amount of money. I only had $1,000 to like invest with. Me and my wife, we were like 23, 24 at the time. And we, this was like basically all of our savings. We're like, we're going to try to like grow this and hopefully we can like grow it into something maybe we can use, like pay off whatever, or maybe our future investments. And we had $1,000. I tried to do Ethereum. The gas fees alone took $250. And I was like, what? Like, what is this gas fee? I didn't know what it was, right? And all of a sudden, I'm down $250 already. I'm like, this sucks. Like, I hate crypto. And then I found Solana, where I could initiate hundreds of transactions, and it cost me not even like a penny. And I was like, okay, I can work with this, and this makes way more sense. Why would I pay these gas fees to initiate a transaction for an investment that's supposed to make me money when I'm already down in the investment $200, $300, $100? Like, that to me wasn't making sense. And so for me, when I started diving into Solana, I was diving into like the TPS, the infrastructure, diving into the community, and I was really starting to do research on like, could this coin have a future? And I took like honestly, at the time, it was kind of a gamble because it was so new. No one knew where Solana would go. Now it makes sense, right? Because they've had several cycles, they've pumped, they've gone to $300 almost. For me, it in my head, if I was trying to think as another investor, And for me, it made so much more sense if hundreds of people and they want crypto to be adopted. People aren't going to want to pay these gas fees. They were going to want it to be nothing. And so for me, it made sense that like if there's going to be a blockchain that's going to be able to be adopted by people who are brand new to this, Solana makes sense because you're not the barrier to entry in regards to your capital is way more capital efficient than Ethereum was at the time. And so I took that gamble of just diving in. I was basically a soul maxi, dove into the meme coins, the NFTs, liquid staking, native staking, DeFi protocols, everything. I just dove headfirst into it and I loved it. I thought it was all awesome. And I really saw I could like see the future potential of it, not knowing that if it would or wouldn't work out, right? And I just so happened that like it worked out because I bought it at $8. Like when FTX happened, I had limit orders at $8 and they all hit, and I was like super stoked, kind of scared too at the same time because I was like, I don't know if this is gonna die on me or if it's gonna go back. And yeah, it's been a crazy ride, but that's really why I love Solana because I could see the potential, the growth potential, and the adoption potential of it, and that's why I just took that gamble on it in the bet.
Soul of the $8 was like Ethereum to $80 in 2020 during the COVID crash, and that moment is really what bounded, I think, the whole community together on Solana, and why it stayed.
I agree.
Everyone stayed so close. Obviously, the chain is performant; it's had its issues, but still continues to grow. So outside of obviously you're learning how to trade, but what sector of Solana interests you the most, regardless of price speculation? But where do you like to spend your time?
Yeah, I think AI is one of them. Like being a part of your guys' live stream, I think AI is one that is going to be growth, and I think Solana's primed for AI because again, it can handle the traffic, and AI is going to bring traffic especially if agents are working on the blockchain. And I think FireDancer like hopefully will play a good role into the blockchain and being able to handle even greater traffic as it comes. But I think my most favorite is actually DeFi. I think DeFi is super exciting for me. Like when it comes to, staking opportunities, passive yield opportunities, like things like very, very low risk, like Lulo, to things higher risk like Camino and Multiply or things like that. I think decentralized finance is a really cool way to allow, like if you're someone with a lot of capital, you can have money in different areas working for you at different risk tolerances and different yield percentages, right? And even the low risks are better than anything you can get outside of crypto. Like my low risk stuff is earning anywhere from 4 to 6%, and where my high risk stuff can earn anywhere from 40 to 100%. And so I think DeFi is pretty
Is this from purely like LP from like LP farming and liquidity providing, or yield farming or LP provisions, or are you doing something different?
Some like of it's LSTs. LP, like with on like Camino. I like using Camino as like a place to do that, or there's even other places like Stable or DeFi Carrot. Like we interviewed them earlier this week in our DeFi space. So yeah, there's like LP opportunities. Camino has this DeFi protocol called Multiply, and I think it kind of acts as like an LP, but it's a little different, and I think there's like some leverage involved in that. And Multiply, I think, is a cool one. I've stopped using because I really want to understand it before I do it, because I know there is impermanent loss risk there. But Camino has several different options, right? You can borrow and lend is one if you're someone who likes to borrow or lend. And then there's also like Lulo, which is a savings account that I think supports LPs. I don't quite understand how Lulo exactly. Well, I think it's tied to MarginFi, Camino, Save, Drift, and their protocols, and utilizes their yields for the money that you put into theirs. And there's like boosted and protected versions that you can do. Yeah.
Damn, you are literally a Solmaniac. I absolutely love
Awesome.
it. One thing I want to show is that Hustle did save us from a gigantic
Oh,
candle
nice.
downwards. So he did
Nice.
have the good side plunge protection, I suppose, or downside protection of getting out at the right spot there. So that was pretty cool. I did just want to note that continued to tumble. So what one final question for me. So what are the most underlooked DeFi protocols on Solana that I should look into?
I'd say Lulo is one of them. I've been a huge fan of them recently. If you have like stable coins that you're like, I just have it on the sideline and you want it to like work for you, and I think that one's a really cool one. I use it every day. I have a lot of money in that protocol. Another one that I think is pretty cool is I'm like trying to figure out which one I want to.
Oh, you're good. The reason why I ask is because for us, we're integrating a bunch of Solana DeFi platforms into Hustle, I think is cool. Yeah. But also Hustle was our first foray as a company into Solana. So I'm familiar now with, so we've been building in Solana ecosystem now for about 6 months or so, after building on Bitcoin, Ethereum for 8 years, I suppose.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's a whole new culture. And we know a lot of the main protocols, you know, the Meteoras and the Radiums and the Pump Funds, right? And stuff, and the Caminos. But yeah, looking more into some of the underlooked DeFi areas. I've come to learn that that Solana has a little bit of like an LST network.
Yes.
I've been looking around for. I have a friend who's building an LST platform, and I've seen that there's a handful of other ones as well. So yeah, I'm always just curious to see what's out there.
I could give you 2 LSTs actually. So there's one called Stake Toby. We talked to them on Tuesday, and then also I think it was Adrena. Adrena is another one that does LSTs. There's Jito too. There's even like Zeus. So Zeus Network is like basically on Solana you can buy native Bitcoin. So like they're creating ways like to like kind of bridge between different blockchains. Stable is like one for stable coins. DeFi Carrot actually has their I think it's CRT is their like kind of like token, and that one has performed very well. DeFi Carrot's one to look into too. Yeah,
I appreciate that recommendation. I'm definitely going to look into all of those, and I'm probably going to
I can send you the list too.
Yeah, please send me the list. Yeah, I'll also feed it through Hustle because I'll get his opinions on it. It helps feed. And
I think all of them have tokens too that you could probably analyze.
Fuck yeah, it's perfect. Yeah. Well, dude, we're coming up on the hour. You know, it's always fun to talk with people who are just really absolutely in love with Solana. It was cool to go through that kind of scalping exercise. It was the first time really I'd done that with Hustle, at least through my experience. I know other degens have been using them in similar ways. So it was really cool, and it's cool that we get to connect. And dude, best of luck with the trading strategy. The one recommendation I have to say is being a trader for 10 years is that, you know, sometimes it takes a while. It could take years to figure out what your trading style is. But once you figure it out, whether it's being profitable or even if it gives you just a peace of mind, honestly, because a lot of times it's impossible to keep a position open and go to bed. And if you're one of those people like me, I just stay away from it. It'll save your mental sanity. I see Adam shaking his head there.
Fuck yeah, dude. I mean, I know I'm not that way. I'm more of a buy and a hold guy, but I know guys who, and I'm certainly not a trader by any stretch, but you know, some of the people who are in it, who I know are successful, it's like what you're doing, completely in and out every day. And when they shut the laptop, they're done, you know? And you know, if that's what suits you and is good for you as you know, you're a human and that's the way you work best. Yeah. Figuring out what works best for you is critical, I think. For sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And so this chart even just absolutely dove
look at
further.
It's totally saved.
Yeah, totally saved. You probably would have blown an account if I was leverage trading on that.
Yeah.
So it was cool. Yeah, we'll wrap it up here, dude. Solmaniac, always a good time, dude.
Appreciate it,
I'm
man.
sure we'll continue to do, more
Yeah.
conversations like this. This was a lot of fun, and yeah, it's awesome that we got to connect.
Yeah, let me know if you guys ever do like a longer stream. Maybe one time we could do like try to really let a trade play out with the Agent Hustle.
Yeah, that's what we
get the automated trading go. We should definitely do that.
That's yeah, that's what we've been keeping the streams to like an hour. Also for us, like this, we've been doing this for about a month, getting different guests on, trying to figure out how to use Hustle within, the guest kind of like preference and kind of make the show entertaining. But
yeah,
I do think once the automated trading is live, that's when we're going to start doing longer streams. And I think that's where it actually becomes a lot more exciting and fun.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
soon.
If you do live trading, like that's pretty cool.
Live automated trading. Coming soon to DJ near you. Until everyone, until then, everybody, we'll see you guys next week.